What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tay's Cup of Joe. I'm gonna be getting ready today and chatting with you guys. We're gonna go to like a Knicks bar, and I'm there for the vibes. I'm not really rooting for anybody. I don't even know who they're playing against, but shout out to them. I'm there for a good time. So today, as you guys already know, I kind of want to chat with you guys about the future. Given the position Joelle and I are in right now, you know, talking about marriage. Oh, well, not talking about it, doing it. Getting married. Next step, you know, what is the next step? Doom, doom, babies. So you guys most likely already know Joelle been ready to have babies, honestly, for like years now. And I love him for that. He's just gonna be the best father. But besides that, I think we're leaning toward possibly having a baby, you know, after the wedding. I'm not too sure how soon after, and that's a whole other discussion, but some point after. And our biggest dilemma at this point with that topic is where are we going to raise our kids? What is our next step in that? Do we want to stay in California? Let me know if this is like a topic that you guys have a problem with too, because I feel very like in such a tough place with that. I love California. I love living here. It's just really far from family. And I grew up very close to my family, luckily. And family is just so important to me. I want my kids to grow up with their cousins. I want them to grow up with their grandparents. I want them to grow up with their aunts and uncles. And I just think that's important. I think that shaped me a lot with you know, who I am. And you need that like family reinforcement sometimes, because they're the ones who are going to let you know. They're the ones who's going to put you in your place. They're also the ones who are going to grow up with you, be like your best friends, your built-in best friends. I'm sure our child would grow up fine otherwise, but from what I grow up with and from what I know, that's just what I want. So same with Joel. He wants that too. He's from New York, and he grew up in a pretty big family as well. Very family oriented. So that's been really tough for us to figure that out. And then it's like, okay, do we want to move before we have a kid? Do we want to move? Because if we do and we want to do that soon, then that's something we got to do soon. Like, are we ready to even do that? I'm not ready to leave California. But then at the same time, I'm like, you know, we're not doing anything that's really like bounding us here. What we're doing, we can kind of do anywhere, thankfully. So but we are bound here because we love it. You know, if California was a 2-hour flight, maybe even 3, I'd be like, we're good. We're here. We're good for life, you know. But a 6-hour flight home, 5.5, whatever it ends up being, sometimes can be too much. God forbid something happens, and then you want, again, your kids to grow up with their family. Then what? Okay, we can spend summers home, and we can spend winters back in California. But I just don't want my kid to be like the cousin who lives out of state and isn't really connected with their family. I don't know. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe I'm making it more than a big deal. This is just where my head's going with the discussion, you know, with the topic. And I just don't know where to go moving forward. And then there's, okay, yeah, we want to be close to the family, but do we want to be in Rhode Island? Nothing wrong with Rhode Island. I love Rhode Island. It's my home state. But I don't necessarily want to live back there. Then what? Go to Massachusetts? Might as well go to Rhode Island at that point. Go to Connecticut because it's close. New York, okay. New York's cool, but New York's not really my personal jam. But New York is, you know, New York's a good time. I've had some good times in New York. Other than that, just for raising the kids. And then, okay, so me and Joelle were chatting like, maybe we can go down south. Maybe like to Florida. My best friend lives in Florida, so that would be a vibe. But Florida doesn't really like do it for me personally. I don't see myself there. I like to visit, but I'm not like, ooh, I want to live here, you know? Granted, that could change. There's so many other parts. Maybe I need to do some exploring. But then the thing with that is like, okay, the taxes, no house. I mean, for the house, it's unmatched. Honestly, it's unmatched. And there's things like that to consider now that we want to get a house. Like, what move just makes sense? are we ever going to be truly complete? Like, are we ever going to truly be okay with it? Are we ever going to truly be happy with our choice and want to settle somewhere? Of course, I feel like we are, and we're going to be fine, of course, at the end of the day. But it's just that, like, loop of thoughts that I'm in right now. Like, okay, am I always going to find a problem somewhere? Do you guys ever feel like that? Like, is it just me? It can't be just me. And then are we supposed to just move somewhere for that sole reason? Again, I'm at the point where I feel like the most important thing right now is definitely family. That's like my brother's having a baby in the next couple months, which is insane. My cousin just had a baby. It's like our kids can all kind of grow up around each other at the same time. That's just such a vibe to me. So I don't know. I'm just kind of, Joel and I are both like really on the fence with that. And we don't know what to do. And then, you know, you got to start thinking about, okay, yeah, I want my kid to also grow up to live somewhere where there's a great school system, because wherever we move and get a house, that's going to be our long-term move. We can't just keep moving A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So what are we going to do about school system? We got to make sure they're in a place that has a good schooling system. And I've heard lately the schools took cursive out. I just heard that last week. Like, I know I'm late, but what is happening? Maybe that's because I'm born in the 90s and I got to move past it. Times have changed, Taylor girl. Regardless, another thing with that, Joel wants to put our kids in a private school. We're going to have a debate, me and Joel, when Joel's here, so you guys can hear this topic, because I want to put my kids in a public school. He wants to put our kids in a private school. Now, both have their pros and cons. Both can be great. Both can have their issues, whatever. It's our duty to search and do what we can and find the best schools that we can for our kids and put them in the best environment. So where's that going to be? The topics never end. I know the East Coast, the Northeast has really good school systems where I'm from. So then I'm like, okay, do we go back there? Again, so many things to consider. I've been here for 8.5 years, which is insane. And I love it here. But I'm at that age where now I'm ready to kind of just be closer to my family and, you know, take the next steps for my future family. I'm at that age. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And in the midst of all of this thought process and everything with that is, you know, we're planning a wedding. So we're kind of putting that on the back burner at the same time. But also we can't, because it's going to be so soon. So me and Joel literally have this conversation like once a month where we're trying to figure it out and see how we're feeling. And then, you know, when we go back home, we're like, oh, maybe we could live here. Like, it feels good. It's home. Of course it feels good. But then every time we come back here from home, we're like, damn, I like to be here. What is the correct answer? All I know is whenever we do finally end up making that move, because California taxes are insane, it's going to be bittersweet, but it's also going to be exciting. I can't wait to be in a place where I can visit my parents, you know, 15, 20 minutes away. I feel like I've never had that, only because when I moved out, I moved straight to California. I didn't move out in my own apartment or anything. I just bounced to here. And I haven't lived in my own space back home, which I feel like that might even help too, because, you know, say I had a house back home, I might feel better about living there, or a house somewhere, just even over there, having my own space, having the experience of my own space. I've never had that over there. So, you know, maybe if I did something like that, that wouldn't be bad either. There's just a lot to think about. If you guys have had any experience with this, if you guys, you know, have left your hometown, ever thought of going back, where raising kids can be like where's a good place to raise kids, a good medium. I don't know. I need to be on a coast though. Like, I don't want to go to the middle. I want to go where there's a beach, because I like that type of vibe. And how do we deal with this? You know, I think we're just in the beginning phases of it. So it's kind of a scary thought. And another transition, there's just a lot of transitions currently happening in our lives. And this is going to be the next step after the wedding. So I'm very curious on your thoughts, you guys. I also met this guy randomly when I was working an event, and he was from Rhode Island. You know, when people are from the same place, small city, small town, he was like, oh my gosh, he heard my accent. Where are you from? Rhode Island. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm from there too. What part? Providence. Oh my gosh, I'm from Warwick. Whatever. He's like, honestly, I love it here. I lived here for 13 years. Went back home to raise my family. I think he said he's been there for like almost 18 years now. His kids are in college. He's like, raise my kids home because it's an amazing place to raise children, great school system, all that. But now we're thinking of moving back. And I was like, that's kind of a vibe. Something to think about. Just let me know your thoughts. If you've done this before, if anything like this has happened with you before, if this is happening to you right now, if we're in the same place. I love hearing, you know, all the stories. Anybody who can relate, anybody who has an opinion, or, you know, just wants to share any ideas. Like, I just want to hear everything, you guys. So leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I want to, you know, have a debate with me and Joelle on this whole topic soon, so you guys can kind of see where we're both at and how different we are with the schooling system thing. And just kind of keep you guys in the loop with that. That's what I'm just gonna say. I'm just about ready to go. I'm about to go meet Joe, and thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for whatever topic we talk about next. This is my final look. Nothing crazy. You know me. I get it done. We are in and out. Boom, bam, bop. Oh, I wore my ring this time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.